What happens when you discover your spouse has betrayed you? Can you keep your composure, or will your anger transform you into someone else? A husband loses all control when he finds out his wife is cheating. But what's the cost of that fury? This story will make you question the limits of forgiveness and loyalty. Before continuing the story, tell me which city you are watching from. I want to know how far this video has come. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so I can send you exciting stories like this every day. It's been about 2 weeks since I found out. I've been suspicious for a while, lots of red flags, but nothing definite. I decided to confront her, and her reaction? Irrational anger. How can I accuse her of something like that? She would never cheat. Made me sure. I snooped on her phone and computer, but couldn't find anything. So I bought some small cameras and placed them around the house. Then I went to visit some friends over the weekend. I grew up in Norway, close to the Swedish border. I met my wife in Sweden. I was 20, she was 21, and she had a 3-year-old kid when we met. We hit it off, and I have been that kid's dad for the last 11 years. I love that guy. I consider him my son. We've been married for 6 years, not that it matters. Long story short, I went home early when I knew she wouldn't be there and watched the footage. Sure enough, there she was doing adult stuff with another guy. I recognized him as a work colleague, Theodore. We were friendly with him and his wife. I used to believe seeing red was just a figure of speech, but I was seeing red. I have never been that angry. I'm actually a very mellow guy. I never really get angry, but I just lost it. I hit the walls, I kicked a bedroom door so hard it flew off its hinges and smashed the glass table we had in the living room. I bit the inside of my cheek. I didn't even notice, but when I screamed, I sprayed the wall and floor with blood. At some point, I managed to hit my head pretty hard, and that snapped me out of it. I looked at the carnage, and I knew I just had to get out of there. Had my wife walked in at that point, I think I would be in jail. In the best case scenario, for domestic violence, and in the worst case, for murder. I quickly packed a suitcase with the essentials on my laptop. I work with simulation and modeling, and my computer is custom, and I need that to do my job. I sent a copy of the video to Theodore's wife. I didn't really write anything in the message, apart from, "Your husband is cheating with my wife." I met my son just outside our apartment complex. I gave him a hug, told him I would always love him, but that his mother was cheating on me, so I had to leave. I really regret telling him. He shouldn't be burdened with that, but I wasn't really myself at that time. It just came out of me. I went to the border. I wanted to go see my family in Norway, but they didn't want to let me cross due to COVID. I've been renting a cheap Airbnb. I'm working, but I'm like a zombie. I haven't talked to my wife. The only person I have responded to is my son. He's been asking me questions. I've been honest with him as far as possible that I don't know what is going to happen next, apart from divorce. I've been trying to find a good lawyer. I've received hundreds of messages from my wife and her part of the family. I haven't responded to any of it. My parents are the only ones that know on my side as far as I know. I don't want to talk to my friends because they are friends with my wife as well, so I don't really have good support at the moment. I'm afraid if I talk to her or see her again, I will lose it and do something I can't take back. I also don't want to lose contact with my son, but I have no idea where to even start. I'm still boiling with rage and I don't know how to get past that. I need to respond to my wife at some point, but I'm so angry that I don't think I'm capable of being rational. I just wanted to try to write this out and see if that helps. So far, I would say it's made no difference at all. Let's check in with some comments before another update. Simon Temp for 1 says, "Never put your hands on a woman in anger. You'll lose your freedom. Doesn't make sense to sit in jail with a bunch of stinking fellas for months. Anger is a natural feeling when hurt. Maybe you could speak to a professional. Work out these feelings." Funin 420 has a thought. "Honestly, this is a good reason to stay no contact. Until you can master your anger, being around her is a very bad idea. Respond to her by email. Explain that all contact must be in writing for now. It allows you to assert at least some control of the situation. It may also give you stuff that you can use in court, depending on what she's sending. Save everything. Record a list of when she calls, but don't answer. Save texts and voicemails. If you do end up talking to her and your son, keep records of when, how, and what was said. If you do send her anything, keep records of everything that was said and how. Don't give her ammunition to use against you. I'm sorry that she decided that sex with a coworker was more important than your marriage. This is not your fault. Don't accept any of that. Load up on facts. Prove your anger by destroying her calmly and rationally in court. You are the aggrieved party here. Don't sink to her level. Update 1 mini update. Wife cheated. I am so angry I am scared of myself. I'm doing better. I actually visited a cage fighting club. I should really stress that I don't know how to fight at all. I'm not really in great shape. The few times that I ended up in a fight in my youth, I've had my ass beaten badly. I talked to them and explained the situation. They were actually really friendly and eager to help. First, they made me work out for 2 hours. And when that didn't take the edge off my anger, they put me in the ring with a very experienced fighter. It was clear he was really gentle with me. And even though I did my best, I didn't even give him a workout. It's pretty clear he let me punch and kick him, but he easily blocked whatever I threw at him. The few times I managed to land a blow with a little bit of force, he was quick to give me a smack back. Since I have no clue what I'm doing, his gentle taps slapped me around hilariously. He would always ask if I was okay before proceeding again. He even apologized a few times for hitting me during our little session when he thought he had maybe hit me too hard. Imagine that, apologizing for hitting the opponent in a fight. He clearly didn't see me as an opponent at all. I doubt he would see me as a threat ever. I have a newfound respect for people that know how to fight, and I am determined to learn it. These guys were the chillest people I've ever met. I want to be as calm as them. My little fight helped a lot. It really took the edge off. I don't have that burning anger. I'm still pissed, but now it's manageable. I will go back for training and more beatings. Still, I don't trust myself to meet my wife. I have talked to my son. Told him that no matter what, we would be okay. I consider him my son no matter what happens between his mother and me. I think he really appreciated that. I've talked to a few common friends and her parents. Apparently, my wife has become sort of unglued. She's been calling and talking to everyone at all hours, day and night. She is apparently confessing everything to almost everyone, and even offering money to anyone that could put her in touch with me. I was considering only speaking to my wife via a lawyer, but I can't afford that, so I've asked my cousin to act as a go-between. I gave her a few questions to put forward, so we'll see where it goes from there. I plan to contact the affair partner's wife next week as well. Some Redditors strongly suggested that I talk to my wife and tell her that if I can adopt my son, I will consider reconciliation. But I would never do that. I will not use my son as a pawn in anything ever. As things stand now, I would love to adopt him, but only if he asks me to, and only if I am sure it's what he wants and that he isn't influenced or pressured by anyone. I will get through this, I think. I have received so much good advice on here. I feel like I have a plan now to move forward with. One quick comment from SickRM. I would talk to a lawyer about an adoption. Maybe the laws are different in your country, but that could get you on child support in the States. Your soon-to-be ex is someone who could turn nasty and try to drag you to court repeatedly if you get on child support. Take your time and keep going to the club. Sounds like it's a great outlet. Update 2. I started calling my son twice a day after my last post. He would always tell me everything was okay, but I guess it really wasn't. I was focused on trying to get myself under control. I started going to individual counseling. That helped some. But what really changed things is when I went to try boxing. The first place I visited was kind of grimy and run down. Still, the 5 guys that were there seemed to have this amazing camaraderie going on, and I really wanted in on that. I wanted to belong there badly. They all told me I had to talk to the old man. He was the owner of the place. Apparently, he decided who could join or not. They all had a lot of respect for him, so I was kind of apprehensive. Let's just say that the old man has an abrasive personality. To begin with, he just listened. But once he started talking, I was quickly getting more and more agitated. There wasn't anything I can really put my finger on. Everything he said was true, and maybe that's what angered me, or maybe it was the tone, like every question or sentence was an accusation of sorts. The old man made me feel like I was not good enough to become a member of his club, and I suddenly found myself in a position of arguing with him for him to let me prove that I was worthy. I still haven't figured out if he was just an a-hole or some kind of genius. That said, the old man has really affected my life in a very positive way, even though he is very uncomfortable to be around. I'm starting to see why people have such respect and admiration for him. The old man has helped me understand why I was so angry and how to think more clearly moving forward. It's a story in itself, but this is already getting long, so back to the main issue. A few days after my post, about 20 minutes after, I had talked to my son. He called me back. He was crying and he apologized for lying to me. He lied when he said everything was okay at home. He went on to tell me that my wife was just sitting in front of the TV staring at it, even if he turned it off. He didn't have any food to eat. The house smells, and the only thing he had eaten in the last 2 days was some sandwiches a friend's mother had made for him when he visited. Of course, I immediately rushed home. I could smell the rotten garbage in the hallway even before I got to the door. The house was an absolute filthy mess. It clearly hadn't been cleaned since I left almost a month ago. The floor was covered in crumbled up sheets of paper, overflowing dirty dishes in the sink, broken glass on the floor, rotten garbage smell, absolutely disgusting. I went to check on my son first. I had picked up a burger for him on the way over. I asked him to stay in his room and eat while I go and talk to his mom. I assured him everything would be okay. I was home. I was going to take care of him. He cried and hugged me for a bit before I went to check on his mother. That hug felt so good. I had missed him so much. I am never leaving him again. My wife sat staring at the screen like my son had described it to me. What he didn't tell me was how terrible she looked. She had lost a terrifying amount of weight. She was just skin and bones. Her eyes were sunk into her head. Dark rings, lifeless skin, cracked lips, messy, dirty hair, filthy clothes. I grabbed a chair and sat myself down between her and the TV. The smell coming off of her was absolutely terrible. There was a bucket on the floor. Later found out it was half full of a week-old vomit. I felt a deep pain for her. I wanted to protect her, help her, make her better. For a while, I completely forgot what she had done. Seeing her like this was really painful for me. I guess in some ways, I still love and care for her, despite what she has done. That fact kind of terrifies me. Something is wrong with me, I think. I don't know what to say to her, to be honest. She was clearly not all there. She actually asked me if I was real. When I said yes, she broke down crying in a way I've never seen anyone cry before. Her crying, or wailing is probably a better word, was so loud it sort of startled me. Without warning, mid-scream, she either fell asleep or passed out. I put my Fitbit on her arm because I don't really know how to take someone's pulse. Her heart rate was varied up and down between 100 to 150, so I figured that's probably not good. I made sure she was in a comfortable position on the sofa, and I wiped the snot off her face before I ran and asked our neighbor for help. They were happy to look after our son while I took her to the hospital. She's been there for 7 days now, I think. I'm a bit blurry on the days, to be honest. I have visited once, but she got so upset from seeing me that the doctors recommended that I don't visit her for now. They have no diagnosis for her yet, and they have no idea of when or even if she will come out of it. I have been focusing on taking care of my son since I have made sure he has regular individual counseling, and he looks like he is doing better for now. There's no doubt he has been traumatized by this. I am drowning in guilt for my part in causing him this pain. I have been in contact with a lawyer to try to get custody rights for obvious reasons. I don't know how that will work out. I've also prepared for divorce, but I'm holding off for the time being. It took us several days to clean the house. I decontaminated the fridge with bleach, and it still smelled like rotten food. So I actually had to get a new one. I also found that my wife had taken all my dirty laundry into bed and made a body shape of it. It had some additions to make it anatomically correct, and it's kind of disturbing, to be honest. I looked through all her papers that she left all over the house. It's incoherent nonsense for the most part. Some pages have dates and times. I can't understand most of it, apart from some pages that have long lines of sorry, sorry, sorry written on it. Most pages with text just transition into a wiggly line in the middle of a sentence. I don't know what to do. My anger is completely gone and replaced by sadness of the situation for the trauma and pain inflicted on my son. I feel bad for my wife, but I also understand why I was angry and how I have changed to deal with the pain. I have left a huge piece of myself behind, and she caused that. I don't know if I have it in me to forgive that. A big part of my personality was being a good husband and provider for a long time. That part of me was mortally wounded by her affair. I left that part of me behind. It was just too painful to keep. It's too early to say anything about where we end up, as for now, all avenues are open. I'm still hurting and confused. I will just continue to try to rebuild my self-esteem and my self-image of my masculinity. If my wife comes out of it, I will talk to her and see where I go from there. Right now, I need to focus on my son. I need to make sure he is okay. Sorry it's not anything spectacular like the other stories I've read on here, with principled confrontations and epic revenge. I'm exhausted and sad. I don't know what to do. It was all so clear-cut in my mind before I came back. Now I just can't see any good ways forwards. One comment from Lily, some word I can't read. Don't be confused by your feelings. When we deeply love someone, it's hard to completely put that aside and no longer care. That's called humanity. She had a huge confrontation with reality, and it overwhelmed her with the reality of what she did. You're a good man to see to her health and to take care of your son. You're also doing well to understand and control your anger. I don't think you left the good husband and provider behind. It's hurt and maybe hiding inside you for now. I hope you'll agree that leaving the angry part of you behind is good for you. I would suggest you not rush into divorce proceedings. You can always do that. What's important now is your wife's health and your son's well-being. You have a lot of people here who have genuine concern for you. Please keep us updated. Update 3. I have some questions. Maybe you can help me shine some light on this from different angles. If you're going to post in comments, just divorce to be, don't bother. I will simply ignore you. I know that in the end, whatever happens is my choice. So I will choose what is right for me and my family, whatever I decide that to be in the future. I haven't been sleeping much, and I am a bit dazed. So if I ramble a bit, please bear with me. I really appreciate all the different perspectives you give. It really helps me think things through. The wife is still in the hospital. She is refusing to allow anyone to see her apart from her mother. The only instructions she has given, apart from no visitors, is that no one is to talk to me on her behalf or try to pressure me in any way. She has confessed cheating to just about everybody, but not in any detail. Her calls have been panicked along the line of, I cheated, he's going to leave me, what do I do? So people have been pretty much leaving me alone unless I have called them to ask for their help or opinion. My wife has written me a letter her mother handed over to me a few days ago. It is long, 32 pages. I will try to summarize the main points here. She apologized for what she's done to me, her son, and us. She says she will sign any paper I put in front of her. No questions asked. Posting up divorce papers, whatever. She also confesses to a 2-month emotional affair with another man online before the current affair started that turned physical. I didn't know about this at all, so I believe she is being honest. Her confession is very detailed, and she has given me all her login credentials to everything to confirm that she is honest and not hiding anything. She freely admits that she was captivated by the attention and the excitement, but she seems genuinely confused that she allowed any of this to actually transpire. I believe what she has written is the truth. Emails, messages, call logs, etc. backs her story up, and she has also pointed me to a thumb drive hidden in one of her drawers that contained a diary going back almost 10 years. Her diary and her letter seem to be in perfect sync from what I have read so far. She explained that the first emotional affair online was more of a game than anything else. Flirting only, no sexting or meetup. It went on until suddenly one day she felt compelled to send this guy a message. She immediately ended it then. She couldn't find the courage to tell me, but according to the diary, she was trying. When the main affair started, she was flattened and given a huge ego boost from this guy giving her attention. He is a very handsome guy, model type, and I have met his wife and she is absolutely stunning. 10 out of 10, jaw-droppingly beautiful. My wife's ego rush got addictive, it seems. Getting attention from this beautiful guy that was married to such a beautiful woman gave her a huge boost. She felt like she must be very special to outcompete his beautiful wife for affair partner's attention. She admits she knew what she was doing was wrong, but she also seems genuinely confused that she was unable to stop herself. She hates herself for losing control. If I understand this correctly, the affair only turned physical once the affair partner started to lose interest in her. She started using sex to keep him interested, to keep him giving her attention. From the diary, the sex seemed to be more of a chore for her. She doesn't seem to enjoy it. She does it just to get more attention, like it's a reward she gives him for that. It's clear she is struggling with guilt, especially in the beginning, but she soon starts to compartmentalize this. But of course, we drifted apart, and our relationship suffers while she does this. The affair was physical for 4 weeks, and they kissed and fooled around with intercourse 5 times, according to her diary and her confession. This is backed up with her location data and credit card bills for hotels, etc. The rest is history that you already know. Her letter concludes with the following. I don't know who the person was that had the affair, or at least I don't recognize myself doing it. I don't understand how I could so easily abandon my beliefs and my morals and hurt the people in my life that I love more than anything. I don't know why I wasn't able to stop myself. I will not insult you by asking you to understand or forgive me because I don't deserve understanding or forgiveness. My only hope is that I can be helpful in some way to help you and our son heal. I will do anything you ask of me without question. I will do anything if you think it might help in any way, no matter how big or small. I will live with my mother once I'm released from here. I will stay away unless you ask of me. I don't want to remind you with my presence of the pain I've caused both of you. I don't have the words to tell you how sorry I am for what I did, and my greatest wish is that you heal and find someone worthy of your love that you can be happy with. I pray I haven't permanently destroyed your ability to trust and love someone deserving in the future. I will not be with anyone else because I'm clearly not safe to be with. I will seek therapy to try to find and perhaps one day cure what is wrong with me. But as of today, I don't really know who I am or why I couldn't stop myself from doing these things. I knew what I did was wrong, that I was hurting everyone, myself included, but I did it anyway. I was selfish. I caused all of this just so I could feel a little better about myself for a brief moment. Once I saw the pain on your face on the camera you left behind in the bedroom, the heartbreaking pain on your face while you were watching the tape with me and the other man. At that moment, I realized how delusional I am and how terrible and evil I had become. I am afraid there is no salvation for me. I will always love you. I wish I could undo it all, take it all back, but I can't. I'm sorry. I ugly cried reading it, and I really don't know what to do. I've been up all night reading, and I am emotionally drained, confined, and unsure of everything. I watched the video again, and I also watched the video of me going insane. I don't remember a lot of what happened that is on the video. It is very painful to watch my wife's actions, but I have been looking at it over and over again. Why can't I stop looking at it? It is also very disturbing to watch myself go crazy, and I can't stop doing that either. I keep going back and watching it from start to the end over and over again. I try to put it away, but an hour or so later, I find myself back watching it all over again. It's hurting me, so I don't understand why I do it. Also, is what she's saying even possible? That a person can be pulled into an affair where behavior becomes compulsive like she describes it, where it's not really a free choice anymore? Maybe a wayward wife on here could share some insight. I also clearly see from her diaries that she probably developed a depression about 3 years ago after her favorite aunt died. Her perspective on life becomes very dark after this, almost hopeless, I would say. I've read other stories where depression seems to cause drastic personality changes and be triggers for affairs. Any insight would be appreciated on this. She clearly never loved any of these men. She loved the ego boost, the increased self-esteem, the rush she felt from them seemingly telling her the right things. On D-Day, she totally cut her affair partner out of her life and called his wife and told her about the affair. I know this because the affair partner's wife told me when I met her. She actually asked me if we could have a revenge affair. She was very focused on this, getting revenge. Like that would help anything? But beauty aside, she's probably the most annoying woman I've ever met. Talking to her was like nails on a chalkboard. Needless to say, we will not be having an affair, and we will never, ever meet in person again. I don't know what to do now. I can't sleep. I can't really think, so I could really use some help. Cranach gives us our response, why she was in that affair, what caused her desire for it, and if she was compulsed by it or not is something your wife needs to find out on her own. In theory, that is possible, but there can also be other reasons and factors. The main question should also be why she distanced herself from you and no longer went to you when she needed something, and instead began to look outside of her marriage for things that she should get or ask for from her partner. She needs to figure out that during therapy. For you, I have only one suggestion. Don't make any decision now and take your time. Whether you want to divorce or stay with her, that is not a decision you need to make today or this month. First things first, keep on doing sports. That is your best bet to be able to find some sleep again. In addition, think about if what your wife wrote you would change anything for you. Is there a reasoning that you could accept her cheating as something that could be forgiven? In addition, her emotional affair was that before or after her aunt died. If before, then she already missed something before that happened. No matter what, make your son your top priority. Then take care of yourself, and it would be best if you take the video and place it somewhere safe. Don't look at it again. The reason you're looking at it is your feeling of being numb. The pain that comes from watching the video gives you the impression of being alive. Stop that and find other moments. Best bet here is with your son, where you feel alive. Good luck and stay strong. The OP responds, thank you for the question I should ask my wife. I think maybe I will start a list of questions to ask her. The emotional affair was after her aunt died. From reading her diary, it looks like she went into a serious depression, but she was very good at hiding it. She never shared that she was struggling with me. I have asked a friend to come over and spend some time with me and take the video away. Cranach responds again, I'm not sure if there is a reasoning for forgiveness. I guess that is one of the things I'm trying to process. Do that and take your time. Remember, this is not a race. You gain nothing by rushing to a decision. Before you make a list of questions that you want to ask her, I also want you to take your time with that. She won't be able to answer most of the questions right now either way and needs some serious therapy and self-reflection before she can answer herself those questions for you. First of all, take care of yourself. Find out what needs to be done to get your own emotions in check, to find sleep again, and to make sure that your son is doing fine. Your wife is taken care of, so there is no direct to-do there for you to. You put her in a safe place and her mom is informed about her situation and will take care for her. If you want to write her anything, then only write that you have received her letter, that you read it, and that you need some time to process that all. And tell her how your son is doing. I wish you all the best. Have you already gotten tested for STDs? The OP responds, thank you for your advice, and I am getting tested on Friday. Update number 4. I am very grateful to everybody on this forum. I have received a lot of help to better navigate this disaster. I am okay now. I feel I am back in control of things. I've been trying to get to see my wife. She refuses still, and her mother still acts as a go-between. I tried to call her out on her promise in her letter to me that she would do anything if I thought it would help in any way. So her mother relayed the message that I believed us talking would help. I also asked her to see her doctor together to try to help me understand. The doctor will not tell me anything without her present. I will try to be patient. In summary, I have been diagnosed with PTSD, and my wife has been diagnosed with persistent depression and some bipolar disorder. She has a chemical imbalance in her brain, and they are trying out different medications for her. Many of you were right. Her condition made her vulnerable. Then a predator crossed her path, and here we are. Her affair partner has been cheating consistently on his wife for their entire relationship with multiple women in parallel most of the time. They are divorcing. The affair partner has been beaten up a bit, not badly from what I have heard. Affair partner's wife called the husbands of most of the women he has had affairs with. I have a friend staying with me most days. He keeps me focused, and I'm going camping with my son this weekend. I was trying to confirm if the descriptions in her diary were correct, that she considered the sex as a chore. In watching her disconnected behavior and facial expressions in the video, she is basically just waiting for it to be over. I have not decided what to do, but I have deleted the video of her and me going crazy. It was just causing me pain, and I just couldn't pull away. One part of me is screaming at me to just walk away, to run and find someone else. What if she cheats again? How can I trust her? Can I get rid of the movie running on a loop in my mind? Will I divorce her in X years because I can't get past this, etc., etc.? I struggle a lot with these types of questions, but divorce would definitely mean that I lose some daily contact with my son, and there is no doubt that he needs me, at least for now. He is terrified of being abandoned. Not that strange considering recent events. I think if I leave his mother now, it would make things worse for him. If I can leave her like she is now, what's preventing me from leaving him? He will probably look at it like that. The two of us have started going to the boxing gym together, and we are bonded stronger than ever. Being there for my son is giving me tremendous strength and motivation to face this with an open mind. He is leaning heavily on me at the moment, so even if I decided to divorce, I'm not sure if I could actually go through with it in the short term. He has begged me not to leave him again. The 2 weeks I was away was very traumatizing for him, and I'm not exposing him to that again. There is no telling for how long it will take his mother to stabilize enough to be a good parent for him again. If I divorce now, maybe she'd never recover. Even if I divorce her, I will still have the pain. I will still have the scars. I will bring that into any new relationship. I think that would greatly reduce the chances of such relationships being successful. Isn't it just as well that I am with her while I try to heal? At least she will know why I am acting like this and understand why I am struggling. If I leave her, what is really waiting for me out there? Single women my age seem to be either divorced for good reasons, or they are so ravaged by baby rabies they will desperately go for anyone. They are not really considering if the person they choose is a good long-term partner for them. They seem very willing to play a role just to get into a relationship. That cannot last long-term, I think. It seems to me there is a high risk of a string of relationships that are doomed to begin with, because one party is desperate and I am broken. Dating strangers and random hookups doesn't really appeal to me. Also, how long would it take for me to find someone that understands me as well as my wife? She is the only person in my entire life that I felt she actually really gets me. And it took a long time to get to that point. Isn't that something I could use in my own healing? Would I ever be able to find someone again that could do that? How long would that take? There is no guarantee that a new partner wouldn't cheat as well. Given the circumstances, I actually think that the odds of my wife cheating again are lower than a new partner. My son also needs his mother, and she needs to heal before she can step back into that role. Will she heal faster and better if I divorce her? Or will she heal better if we try to reconcile? I don't effing know. It's driving me nuts. How can I know she is safe to be around for my son if I'm not there with them? When it comes to my own healing, would I be better off alone or with her? Based on what I have learned here, it seems that those that choose to jump to divorce don't heal very well. It looks like the best outcome as far as healing is concerned is when the wayward actively contributes to the healing over a 3 to 5 year time period minimum. I don't know if she is even capable of that at the moment, to be honest. So here I am terribly conflicted. I have a million questions in my head and basically zero answers. I still struggle with the extremes, reconciliation or divorce, and everything in between. I can't deny that I still love my wife. It turns out my bond to her isn't that easily broken. I really don't want to love her. The prideful side of me wants me to hate her, but I just can't lie to myself. I still love her deeply, and even though I fantasize about her getting hurt as badly as me the first few weeks, I don't want to hurt her or anyone. It wouldn't help me at all. Either way, I see a long, painful road ahead of us. I hope I have the strength to stay the course and be patient enough to make sure I make the right choices for my family and me. The only thing I have been able to decide is that if I land on offering R, it will not just be given. I will need to see some effort. I will not offer R until I am absolutely sure we are two people 100% committed to that path. Also, if we do R, she will basically be a prisoner on probation. I don't want to be that guy, but what choice do I have if I feel I can't trust her? Either way, we will need a lot of therapy. Maybe she doesn't even want to R. I just don't know. Not being able to talk to her is starting to become a real burden for me. It's stressing me out. I feel I really need to talk to her. If anyone has any good suggestions for these conversations, I am all ears. Again, thank you. Our comment comes from Chrysalis. Sure, I have persistent depression and abandonment issues. I don't cheat even when I've been deeply dissatisfied with my partner, and come on to it. Her conditions may have made her cheating easier to fall into, but she cheated because she wanted to. Do not pass off her choices on another of her conditions. Pretending she doesn't have agency in the face of forces she must contend with daily means she will never be worthy of trust, even with work. She accepts full accountability, and you pass her full accountability, or she will forever use that wild card to act out. That said, she seems genuine. Just don't make the mistake of coddling her through this. She's got it rough, but she made this what it was and needs to own it fully, and you taking responsibility off her, even in your own head, is not a favor. It's condemnation. The OP replies, I agree her condition is a factor, but she still made the choice. John's response, you're right for the most part. Most people in their mid-30s and up are usually single because they're a trash bin of a human, 6 out of 10, and the rest are in your situation, 2 out of 10, or feeling baby fever despite never feeling motivated, or having the time to maintain a long, healthy relationship, 2 out of 10. I'm 31, and after spending a year plus reading this and other subs and digging into the psyche of cheaters and learning their tells, literally all the women openly interested in me were cheaters or showed tendencies that lean that way. It sucks, and it's hard, but in reality, here's the truth. You only get one happy, lifelong relationship, or else it wouldn't be lifelong. Holding on to a train wreck believing you may salvage enough to make the distance is a mistake, even if you make it. Your relationship with your wife is gone, with multiple concealed personality disorders that ultimately culminated in a mental breakdown. You don't know if she was even remotely that person she portrayed herself to be. Even if she wasn't malicious in using you for security, she may still have been acting or miming what she thought would be right the entire time. Bury your old wife you keep in memory. The person who knew you and got you was just one facet of what she was. You need to look at her for where and who she is now and decide if this person is worth a risk. The only thing you have any certainty of is she's the mother of your child. Paternity test. I only tell you to test him to see if this betrayal extends beyond what you know. If you're even considering giving her a chance, tell her that it's uncertain and she shouldn't set any expectations because you're undecided. Set a zero-lie policy. If she lies once about anything, even eating your Jell-O, she's cut off without explanation. You need to mean this too. Use that time afterward to get to know who she really is, her everyday thoughts, how she feels about herself and you independent of the affair, how she views you, family, dedication, loyalty, the important stuff. Find out how much of the wife you thought you had is the woman you see now. It's going to feel like dating someone new because you are. Then make your decision. For now, though, don't press her. I know you want answers, but you pressing her will stall her recovery and ultimately lead to rash or emotionally charged decision-making. Write your questions down. Amend them as needed. It doesn't matter if there are 300 of them. In time, you'll likely only have 3 or 4 of any significance. Focus on that boxing class and reassuring your boy you love him. He needs you more right now than you need to get answers or withdraw. The OP's closing statement. Thank you for your thoughts. I have started making a question list, and I guess she doesn't even know who she is. Reflecting on this story, we can see that in life, not all wounds can heal immediately. Betrayals, whether in love or other relationships, always leave deep scars. People may forgive, but it's never easy to forget the wounds that leave marks on the heart. That's why the story of the husband in this video is not just about infidelity, but about the journey of rediscovering oneself after pain, loss, and feeling lost. We can see that despite the hurt, the choice to move forward in life is always in the hands of each individual. If you feel that this story has made you reflect on the values of life, loyalty, and forgiveness, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. We will continue to bring you emotional and meaningful stories, helping you gain deeper insights into yourself and the world around you. Let us accompany you on the journey of discovering stories that truly touch the heart. Don't miss our next videos.